Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story of 2024. I'm Greg Shapiro, and let's queer up the top stories of the year. This is number 16 of 2024. Hateful Trump ad leads to a legal threat from drag queen Pattie Gonia. This story was broadcast on October 9th on Queer News Tonight. An anti-transgender ad run by the Trump campaign against Kamala Harris featured images of drag activist Pattie Gonia, who is considering legal action against the presidential candidate.
Hateful Trump ad leads to a legal threat from drag queen Pattie Gonia. A drag queen and climate activist, Pattie Gonia, is considering legal action after being featured without consent in an anti-transgender ad by former President Donald Trump's campaign. The ad, which aired during prominent football games, has drawn significant backlash. It targets Vice President Kamala Harris for supporting gender-affirming healthcare for incarcerated individuals. The ad also includes images of other LGBTQ+ figures in the Biden-Harris administration, such as Assistant Secretary for Health Rachel Levine, and concludes with the statement, quote, "Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you," end quote. Pattie Gonia recently took to Instagram expressing her frustration, saying, quote, "Thousands of you are letting me know that I'm in a Trump ad that attacks queer and trans people. Wasn't exactly on my bingo card this year," end quote.
Yes, hello. Thousands of you letting me know that I'm in a Trump ad that attacks queer and trans people wasn't exactly on my bingo card this year. In the ad, Trump continues to use queer people to attack Kamala Harris, to divide our nation, and to wage war against gender-affirming care, which we know saves lives. I'm not going to give the whole ad more airtime, but here's a snippet.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Is this seriously the best they've got? No, the Trump campaign did not have my permission to use my name or likeness. Yes, we are reviewing our legal options. And yes, I'm going to do what queer people always do. Turn our pain into something positive. And that is why I'm using this moment to raise money for trans and gender-affirming healthcare at the link in my bio. So, if you'd like to join me in saying a big f*** to Trump, you know where to go. Vote this fall and make America gay again.
You're fired! Get out of here! You're fired!
Her legal team is now exploring options regarding the unauthorized use of her likeness. Her spokesperson confirmed the possibility of legal action, stating they're evaluating the situation. Despite the hateful ad, Pattie Gonia has used the movement to raise awareness and funds for gender-affirming healthcare. She announced on Instagram, quote, "Thank you, you did it. You raised $15,000 in one day for trans healthcare," end quote. The fundraiser associated with her post has closed, but continue to follow her on Instagram at Pattie Gonia for more activism.
All I can say is, go, Pattie Gonia, go!
You know how many times have we heard in the media that we are doing transgender, having surgeries in our schools?
Yeah.
We're having them in our jails.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that we've heard that. Of course, there's no pictures.
Propaganda.
Like this, but,
Yeah, and that Kamala was going to pay for all of them.
right.
If only they were going to be free. I'm a huge, not huge, I'm a fan. I follow Pattie Gonia on Instagram, and I appreciate the work that she does. She does the drag outside in the woods, so I don't have to. So I really appreciate her for saving the planet with her Captain Planet looking ass. But yeah, that was a wild situation to occur. How did the Trump campaign people find Pattie Gonia and decide to put it in this image was wild and weird. Trump, one of your people is like a fan of the dolls. So like, I don't know how this came about. How they found this footage? You need to be asking your cabinet, like, which one of y'all is a little toot fruit? Like, how did that happen?
They got this footage from a Pride event in 2022, and they decided to just use it in one of their campaigns. But there's IP laws in effect right now that are still in effect as of right now. Who knows what will happen next year, folks, right? But that it safeguards creators' work. If it is your work as a creator, you're allowed to not be used without your permission, you know? So I hope she gets some money from this. Right? All the research that we've done says that it's still pending. So, you know, there's been no other update since then. So sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I wish that the DNC would have used these same tactics, because everybody that Trump was hand selecting had said the worst things about him in just 2-3 years ago, even last year, talking about him as Hitler, talking about him as
unfit.
Yeah, deranged, all of this stuff.
Fat, ugly.
So I wish that the Democrats would have played with a little fire with fire and said, look, these are your people. This is what they're saying. I think maybe that would have resonated a little more with the American people.
Too nice. Definitely played way too nice. So we are bringing you a special presentation of the 24 biggest stories of the year, and we call it the Top 24 of 2024. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.